It appears that Wendy Williams' comeback didn't go as planned and the former TV host still needs help. People believe that she is being controlled by her management team, and these people forced her to take on several projects and pushed her into the limelight when she wasn't ready. With all these controversial reports coming from the media, it's hard to dig the truth, but one thing is clear, something is obviously wrong with Auntie Wendy, and we all need to talk about it. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Celeb Live Channel. I keep my eyes on the most discussed events in show business and always bring you the hottest updates. So guys, we've all been looking for Wendy Williams' comeback, but it seems like it was only a lie conjured up by her management team, and we are witnessing her downfall instead. Well, I don't want to assume the worst, but it clearly feels like is not in control of her current life. If you want to know the details, buckle up because I'm planning to dig into this story. I don't know who's meddling with the tabloids, but the controversy of reports about Wendy Williams' state makes me wonder how she's actually doing these days. You see, one day, her rep says that she's back and better than ever, and another report claims that she doesn't look herself in recent public appearances. We've all been anticipating her long-awaited and largely promoted comeback, but it seems like it's not happening after all. And what is even more frightening, it feels like Wendy needs urgent help and probably someone reliable to distance her from the people she is currently surrounded by. Recently, the TV host has made several major public appearances, which her rep described as working on several mystery projects, but what caught the eye of her fans and people who were on the site is her irrational behavior and statements. It was later reported that the Queen of Talk seemingly has troubles with alcohol again. Okay, it doesn't look like a comeback to full glory, if you ask me. And it seems like we may wait for a long time because there were reports that her podcast had been canceled due to health concerns. Wendy has been struggling with many health disorders, including Graves' disease and lymphedema, and recently Wendy was seen out and about just saying random things about her future plans, and it seems her largely promoted comeback to TV is not among them. One of Wendy's friends shared with the US. Son, it's strange because she is saying there is no podcast, but is also telling people she's going to return to TV. It's hard to figure out what is based in reality. Well, it seems the reality states that Wendy needs help because she definitely looks frail and sickly. And it doesn't add colors that she started bar hopping again. And even if her rep is trying to come up with excuses, saying that Wendy is only celebrating her upcoming projects, I guess no one really buys it anymore. As Wendy's publicist, Sean Zanotti, told the media, trying to hush the speculation about her podcast cancellation and possible drinking, we are still working behind the scenes on several projects. There has been no official cancellation of the podcast. As he is trying to convince us, the Queen of Talk is in her sound mind and she is simply happy to begin a new chapter in her life. Well, the eyewitnesses mentioned that there's more to the story and, in fact, was out to get drunk. Some people told the press that she was asking the bartender to pour her more alcohol, and no one around her seemed to put an end to this. I mean, this doesn't really mix well in my mind, knowing that alcohol has been a real issue for the former TV host for years, and at some point, she was even at the death door because of her drinking. And Wendy bravely checked in one of the best rehabs in the country, where she has been staying for a couple of months, isolated from the world and everything that was going on. And I honestly believe that these couples of months helped her to become a better version of herself and decreased her addiction. Well, I believed up until that moment when I read the reports about Wendy going to the bar and ordering Cosmos. It seems to me that her comeback was a bit rushed and someone couldn't wait to start making money on her name again. Well, knowing that the army of Wendy's fans was hoping to get updates about her upcoming projects, some people decided that Wendy was ready to be back in her chair. She handled the advertisement part well enough, and since then, things have only gotten worse for her. Many people start to suspect that the decision to launch a podcast and other projects was imposed on Wendy, and there's no one who actually cares about her state. People around her see Wendy only as a working horse and basically shove her into the spotlight to get more money from contracts and sponsors. The speculation about her management team using her for profit-filled social media. One person wrote, literally so sad. There's no one with her well-being in mind, including herself. She loves media attention, and even her severe health issues won't stop her and her team from shoving her into the limelight. And another said, Wendy doesn't need to do anything but sit at home and take care of her cats. She's made her money, gotten her ex off of her payroll, and got to retire gracefully without the entire world coming after her. Whoever is trying to force an obviously sick woman, physically and otherwise, back into the limelight should be locked up for elder abuse. But that's true that Wendy loves attention, and probably she overestimated her strength when she agreed to promote a podcast and other things. And although it seemed like she enjoyed being back and even filming something, this was just too early. As a result, 5 months after leaving rehab, she is back with a glass in her hand and asking for more. Apparently, what was promoted as a huge comeback of 2023 turned into the biggest downfall. While I'm more than excited to see Wendy working on her projects, the news about her boozy outing is rather scary and alarming. I don't understand why no one is doing anything to protect her, and even her rep is creating excuses like she is happy and wanted to celebrate as she has a new lease on life. While we all expected Wendy to overcome her past addictions and focus on her life without that cheating excuse of a husband and his scavenging mistress, it doesn't look like her addictions are going away. I mean, it's a struggle to begin a new life after a series of challenging events. And as we know, Wendy basically lost everything she loved and cared about, including her TV show. But what makes me quite angry in the story is everyone being so ignorant and simply feeding the media with more information and allegations instead of trying to help Wendy. One person was happy to get a minute of fame talking to a reporter and saying that lonely. Williams was spotted drinking at Fresco by Scotto, where she was overheard telling her group that she was determined to get drunk. All those reports by those people are truly sick, and even though Wendy was not alone that evening, I guess a group of so-called friends also didn't stop her from embarrassing herself. One of the insiders stated that Wendy made a shocking statement to some other guests. She told this table that she was looking for love. And like in Sex and the City, she's willing to fetchy, she's willing to fight. Well, it looks like Wendy was in the mood to party hard that evening, and no one was there to control or protect her from this embarrassment. I mean, people will always respect Wendy for her legacy, but this situation is completely out of hand. She doesn't give an impression of a professional who is determined to be back. All that I see, judging from this report, is a sickly woman who is lost and needs help to gather herself and her life back together. This makes me wonder if this decision to let Wendy walk free and enjoy her outings was intentional. Probably. There has been a podcast, and this promised comeback is nothing more than a setup to unhinge Wendy even more while squeezing cash on this story. I mean, at least it works for tabloids. The story sells, and desperate Wendy's fans click on the news to get more information. There were even rumors that certain people doesn't need her back in her full glory because Wendy had exposed a lot of secrets in her past. It's true that Wendy Williams has been the most convenient person in show business, and for some, she was too much to handle, but she certainly doesn't deserve to be exploited and deceived by her producers or those fake friends drinking with her the entire night. I mean, considering her fragile state, this doesn't bring her closer to comeback at all. Once her ex-husband cheated and they split, she was so damaged, plus her health issues, substance issues, and the Wells Fargo situation, Wendy had a lot on her plate. And it seems like coming back amid health concerns and poorly treated alcohol abuse is not the best idea. I hope the Queen of Talk can find herself again and find her way out of all this chaos other people created for her. I personally see nothing fun in these reports and horrifying updates about her health. And like many of her fans, I just wish at this point that everyone leaves her alone and in peace. But I'm not the only one who thinks like this, and many fans filled social media with their concerns about Wendy. One person commented, "Someone is trying to set her up for failure. I think the thing with Wells Fargo was just the beginning. Someone is trying to ruin her and take over her money and her life." And another person added, "It's time for Wendy to get out the spotlight and just be a normal person, because now she's famous for all the wrong reasons. But surely, someone's getting profit from Wendy being in the spotlight because, as it was mentioned, her podcast platform is still selling merchandise and teases fans without any hint about the launch date. And what do you reckon? Is someone really making money on Wendy's troubles? Or is this the vicious plan to get her out of the picture at all? Is her comeback ever possible? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm eager to know what you're thinking. And in the meantime, check my other video about Wendy's canceled projects. And I guess there will be more to discuss. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned, and I promise to be back very soon with a new portion of gossip about your favorite celebrities.